Hey everybody, welcome back to Bumbershoot. I was going to say charity for charity. Bumbershoot, where we're covering life's chaos with humor and heart. And oh my goodness, we have been in the studio for about an hour just chit-chatting, all of us. So obviously we got Tracey and Rhonda. They're back because we're back. I'm back from Italy. Yay. So my girls, we're back in the studio, and we have Luca, our second born.
The king baby is
my
here.
First birthed born. But yeah, we've been talking about so many different things, and we're not going to take you through it, but we decided it was time to start recording.
Yes.
So, but yeah, I made it back. Okay, we started. Shout out to Poggioleano Wine, Carato.
Yes,
but it's also
Cheers,
making me
guys.
congested for some reason right now.
I think it's the cat. I think it's the cat. Because I'm allergic to the cat, and it has to be some kind of genetic thing. So,
but I'm never allergic to cat. I don't think that's what it is. But anyway, I think it's the wine. But yeah. So the girls listened to the podcast with Mimi, and it was such a special one.
It was sweet.
You
sweet.
don't know what you're gonna get, and we've never had those you don't just get those conversations.
Yeah.
So
She was definitely a natural.
She was.
She did
I
thought so, too.
amazing.
and afterwards she's like, I actually like this. I could do this some more. And I'm like, isn't it funny because people come in all intimidated and then they realize that we're just hanging out talking.
Right.
So
She's super well spoken. Plus, with her accent, I could literally
So
listen
cute.
to her all day. She's so cute.
And her English was amazing.
I know she's really.
I thought her accent was stronger, but no, she has a really good English accent.
She
You know,
does,
speaks
and she
English
knows.
well.
So, there's times that she'll be like, "How do you say?" or "What do you say?" or
Yeah, the
but
word.
very rarely. She really knows a lot.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
I loved
and
it.
it was very special. We got emotional.
Yeah, I loved it.
No, it was sweet. And then we did record Logan's, but we're not going to air it till next week. So because we wanted to do it in chronological order, which means that Luca, we needed
king.
you. So it worked out perfect. So I interviewed Mimi in Italy, came back interviewing you, and then I'll throw
when did you
Logan's.
record Logan? Like, when did you do his?
Right after Mimi.
Really? Like in the same?
In the same place.
Sweet.
We used so we were at Donna Lucata in our beach resort, and we used the farthest room 8.
Okay.
It wasn't being used. It wasn't, I don't know what you say, rented or whatever.
Did you take pictures?
I did.
Yay.
Oh, good.
Yeah, only one.
I feel like I saw Mimi.
Yeah, Mimi you
like
saw with
a
her
photo,
headphones
yeah.
on.
Oh,
yeah.
cute.
And then Logan, we took one picture. I was like, let's do it before so I don't forget. But
Yeah.
But Logan was cute. So you guys will hear next week. He took advantage of the podcast. He made it Logan podcast. If
course
you know
he did.
him, you'll be shocked.
That's what
But
that video.
Yeah.
Logan.
yeah, but it was really sweet, and I'll kind of set this up how I did with him, Luca, and asking kind of similar questions, just so you know if you're listening. Well, obviously you're hearing this if you're listening, but but I'm very much off the cuff. I have an outline that is subject. But that's who I am. I'm very much off the cuff. I know it doesn't work for everyone, but that's okay. Everything's not for everyone. But for me, that's how I work. And Luca's like, do we have kind of an outline what we're going to talk about?
We haven't even looked at this in a long time.
No,
well,
we
at
don't.
least I have it.
Well, and we talked about with Mimi and with Logan, we talked about all the differences in the kids, and especially with Luke and Logan. And if you listened before to Mimi, you know the differences with Luke and Logan. So it's not shocking that Luke is asking for an outline. And Logan was like, all right, let's jump right in.
I think at least with the next 2 episodes, you're really going to okay, yeah, these are 2 very different people,
Yeah.
polar opposites.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Yeah, talk
polar
about-
opposites, yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
used to this.
but it's, what I'll tell you, I think everybody has that when you have multiple children. It's very typical that you have very different personalities. And even if a lot of them are polar opposites, and then some of them are not as much, but it's not so rare. And you guys are almost 3 years apart. You're 2 years and 8 months apart. So you're definitely you're in 2 different realms of life at different times. So he has, so this is one thing that I can say is very solidly true is that both of the boys have both of us in them. It's just the different stuff, right?
Yep.
So we're my independence and my not need for I don't need to be on the stage all the time. And I can very much be independent. Luca has that. he also has
Totally.
his dad
Yes.
and like his intenseness and his like Luca could be like he's good until he's not. He has that of his dad. What else do you have of dad?
I think if we're talking physically, it's
You definitely has his
almost
body.
the exact same.
You have the same body.
Yeah.
And eventually the hair is
The
going to get there in
tushy.
about 2 years.
But there's also personality traits that you have that people don't realize that you and dad can be very similar. Like you both don't have like friend groups. You're not super like plugged into friend groups. And that's, you kind of have walls up, both of you. For you growing up, I remember you were like, what do I do with a friend? And then what do I do without a friend? Like he didn't really, if I have a friend over, okay, what am I going to do with them? But then
Like I was talking about this with Isabella recently. I was like, I was just driving somewhere and I was listening to a song. I don't remember what song it was, but I was listening to a song and I'm like, this is totally a song that I would just sit on a couch and just have in the background while I'm just sitting on my phone. Like what Andrew and Logan do.
Yeah.
Like this is exactly the thing that I would have on while I'm just
what
in
does
the
that
background.
have to do with anything?
Well, I was telling Isabella, I'm like, why do you think I don't have any?
Lots of friends, yeah.
Well, because in high school, so in school, in your lower grades, you did have friends.
I had a couple
Elementary
friend groups.
school.
I definitely floated.
You have a fly on your, a gigantic horse
I
fly on
felt,
your
I think I
head.
felt it. Yeah,
That's your friend.
I think
He loves you.
But then as you got older, because you were young, also we have to make, so we're really skipping ahead. Why don't we
we're-
pause and go back to
okay.
your childhood? The king was born.
Woo! It's
king.
Luca time.
So Alex said, if it's a boy, it'll be the king because, a boy or a man, a Sicilian man. So we already told the story when dad found out you were born and hit his head on the ceiling in the ultrasound room and then bought tiramisu for everybody when you were born and all the things. And you were our world, just you, for 2 years and 8 months. And here's some things. So because Alex worked all the time, it was Luca and I by ourselves. So what I would do, I'd take him in the carrier like in the evening and I'd go down and visit Alex at work because I was bored. I was home by myself. Yeah. So it was just either Luca and I at home by ourselves or I would take him down to the restaurant and he'd fall asleep in the car. Well, not in the beginning. Let's make note that Luca, if you put him in the car, contrary to all the other children in the whole wide world that fall asleep when they go in the car, Luca would scream bloody murder when the car was driving.
No.
Then he'd come to a stop sign or a stoplight and he would stop crying.
Interesting.
Oh, you didn't like
then you were like, I would cringe to put on the gas.
Oh, gosh.
And then he would start screaming again.
Maybe he got dizzy or had did you have inner ear problems when you were little?
I have no
No.
idea. I don't
No,
think
he
I'm the right
didn't.
person to ask.
But we went to, I will never forget this drive. So he breastfed for 3 months. And we went to Brandy's. I remember it was dad. There was like a car full, but I think dad, I can't remember who else, maybe cousin Dave, I don't know. But there was a car, not a car full, like 5 of us and Luca. And we were over the Ortega and that kid screamed from Orange County all the way. I literally got out of my buckle and hung my boob over him and tried to feed him while we were driving to give us peace because we were all losing our minds. The fact that he would not calm down was insane. So, and then he was colicky.
Oh,
so I'd be at the restaurant, and if you know colicky, it only lasts for like 3 months, but it feels like century because they cry for like about 2.5 hours. If you read about it, he was textbook colic. He would cry and you couldn't comfort him. So where people are like, oh, then you get like frustrated because you can't comfort him, and then other people try to help you. I was like, oh yeah, you want to help me? Take him. Like,
here you go.
By all means.
They were like trying to they were rocking him. They'd have him in the carrier, and they would
Dancing
take
with
that
him.
off of me at the restaurant.
That's a break.
But he, to the date, stopped.
That's crazy.
Insane. But then he also grew up. So because we were at the restaurant, especially on the weekends, we had live music. I would put his carrier down by the band, The band was loud. He'd sleep right next to the band.
That's so awesome.
His whole infancy. Then, don't judge me, parents, whatever. And now it's too late to turn me into CPS. I would put him in the car parked out in front of the restaurant because he'd be sleeping. And I was like, okay, well, he's asleep. So why don't I just stay and hang out with my husband?
Yeah.
So we would just go check on him constantly, but he would sleep in the car. And he grew up.
Is that like wrong?
Well, it is to
Nowadays.
You can't.
Nowadays,
you don't do it in
like
the
not
day
in a
and then the
locked car.
heat.
Yeah, like.
And like it was at night when it was nobody was in the
Was there
center.
like a window cracked?
Yes.
Okay.
And we were checking on you constantly.
So what's the problem?
People, well, please, people are very sensitive these days.
Totally judgmental.
Yeah, but it worked. It's fine. He's alive and well, and he's good.
All is good.
But also he grew up watching Sugar Bear, who he was in one of our bands, right? And he played the saxophone. Like did he sing too, or no? He just played the sax.
He just did
Ron
sax,
sang. Yeah. So Luca, like from infancy, was listening to Sugar Bear. So then when he was a toddler, he would sit. We'd put him in a chair in front of Sugar Bear, and he'd sit for the entire night watching Sugar Bear. The kid was not like antsy. He wouldn't like Logan would not. He doesn't sit for 1 second.
Yeah. No.
But Luca would sit there and just watch him. He did that even when he was an infant. I'd put on Baby Einstein. Mm-hmm. He'd watch it for. I mean, I don't want to say for hours, more judgment, but as long as I needed to get stuff done, he was watching Baby Einstein. I swear that's why he's so so intellectual. It's weird. I don't even know where it comes from. I don't mean that mean, babe, but you know, you're just
how. I mean, I don't know how that could be
process.
taken as mean.
Right, that's a huge compliment.
Yeah, that's a compliment.
It's great.
For sure.
It's
I
great.
wish somebody would tell me that.
Listening to jazz and watching Baby Einstein. I don't know. It's pretty good.
Right?
Well, I definitely programmed you to be intellectual, I guess. But then when I have to share this story. It's so cute. We'll get you on in a minute. But
It's good.
we were shopping in Marshall's, which I did for many years, many days of the week. And he's in the cart, and we were in the toy section. He was probably about 2, maybe not even 2. He was probably maybe a year and 8 months or something. And there was this toy saxophone, and we were like, I didn't see it, but he all of a sudden points and he goes, Sugar Bear. And I look.
No way.
That's so
And
cute.
he pointed at the saxophone, and I was like, oh, you want the saxophone like Sugar Bear? And he's like, yeah. So I gave it to him, and he was overjoyed. So I thought, well, this Friday or whatever, Friday or Saturday, I'm going to bring him in with his saxophone. You guys, I have pictures. I have to find them
you
to
have
post
to find
them.
them.
Luca was sitting. I don't know if he was sitting or standing. He was watching Sugar Bear with his saxophone. And he's just watching him, and he just was infatuated with Sugar Bear. And Sugar Bear, he's a cool cat. He's a very like cool cat, black man, like jazz.
I feel like I can imagine
with his,
like the memory of this because
So you might remember it
from a year 8 months. There's no way it's
like
been
2,
21
like
years.
Maybe, you were maybe
20
close to 2,
years.
but-
There's no way I can remember that.
Well, he stood in front, and Sugar Bear just adored him. Sugar Bear brings him up on stage next to him.
No.
And they're
So
both
cute.
playing their saxophone. So Luca puts it at his mouth, and he's watching and trying to copy Sugar Bear. It was the
cute.
cutest thing
I
ever.
want a video.
It was so
don't have
sweet.
one,
Well,
do
we
you?
just celebrated 25 years with Gourmet Italia, and
Yes.
Sugar Bear was there playing.
I heard that story
Oh
that
my
night.
gosh,
Because-
yeah.
And Luca, and he saw
Because
Luca.
it's been like what, like 15 years since like he played at GI last. Like it's been a while.
Yeah, it had been a long
It's
time.
been a long time.
Yeah.
So I saw him. I was like, "There's no like I got
That
like
is
yeah
so
I got like
cool. So
starstruck pretty
special.
much. Yeah, that's cool.
So cute. So anyway, Luca was, he hung out at the restaurant with us a lot. And then there was a time that, so he was probably about 2 as well, because Logan came along at 2 years and 8 months. So you were probably about 2. And Alex had a tiny little like closet office. And it was just the one side of Gourmet Italia. We hadn't expanded. Or maybe we expanded just the
it
one
was expanded
side.
because
Just the one side.
I've seen the picture of Sugar Bear and I, and
it's
it
on that
was
side,
in
yeah. Yeah, so it would just expanded on one side. Now we're expanded in a few different areas. But anyway, so I had to go to the bathroom. So I said to Alex, you got Luca? I got to go to the bathroom. He's like, yeah. So I go to the bathroom and I come back out and Alex on the phone. And I'm looking around. I don't see Luca.
Oh, goodness.
And I'm like, so I am not the panicker. I don't panic until I have to. I don't overreact until I have to. So I'm calm and I see him on the phone. I don't say anything because he is an overreactor. So I didn't want to freak him out. So I start looking for Luca and I don't find him anywhere. There's no trace of him anywhere. Oh, no. So I go to Alex and I say, where's Luca? And he looks at me like his eyes bugged out of his eye sockets. And he panics and he hangs up on the person. I don't know who he's talking to. He hung up on the person and he starts running around. And he's running around. We can't find him anywhere. We went outside the center to all the other suites. We were asking, have you guys seen Luca? No one had seen Luca. Now I'm panicking. Now this is like, okay, I've gone into panic mode and we're freaking out. And we passed the office door was closed and we passed it probably 20 times and looking for him. And I finally said, the horsefly. Yeah, it's on your shoulder now.
It keeps landing.
It's not
on
afraid.
Me.
It's disgusting.
It landed on my nose.
I swear. What is happening? We have rats, cats, and flies.
Okay,
and
the cat was a...
It's Cherie. Stop it. Be nice to Cherie. I love her.
Take her home, Tracy.
I can't.
Jeremy's
still
definitely
allergic.
Is she still here?
Yeah, she's
yeah.
Cherie.
Cherie.
I like to say her name,
I do
Cherie.
too. That's why I like her. I love her.
Tracy's wiping her nose from the fly. I would too. Anyway, so I finally go, wait, we didn't check the office. I open the office door and Luca's sitting on the ground playing with paper clips and he looks up and he smiles at us and I was like, oh my gosh. So that was a panic time. But anyway, so then Logan was born. Luca was our world until we shared that world with Logan. And when I had Logan, Alex is like, you're in postpartum depression. I felt so bad because Luca was our whole entire world. And I was like, now we have another baby. I literally didn't want to pay attention to Logan because I felt bad for Luca. Right. And so when we
that's horrible.
it was sad. And then when we went to the doctor, Alex said, I think we knew the doctor, she was a customer. And he says, I think she has postpartum. She's in depression. And I'm like, I'm not in depression. I said, I just feel really bad because Luca's been our whole world. And she goes, you just gave Luca the best gift you could give.
Oh my gosh.
Your son.
That's 1,000%.
And I was like, oh. And she goes, you gave him a brother and this is going to be the best thing you could have ever given him. And I just was like, and at that moment, I embraced it. Now, I'm not sure Luca agrees with it.
What a pill he turned out to be.
No, but I do believe that. And, like Mimi shared, she was an only child for a long time. And so she gave Carlo a brother.
Yeah.
For the reason that she shared it. You don't know because you didn't listen yet, but you should listen to it. But it is the best gift you can give your kid. And if you can't have more than one, that's fine. I mean, a lot of kids are fine and it's great. And God brings them other types of friends and siblings and family. But for us, it was a blessing. And Luca was actually, I told you guys that, right? He was a twin.
Yes.
No,
I couldn't believe that.
I don't think I knew that.
Oh, yeah. So
I'm the winner.
Thank God.
I had 2 placentas when they did my emergency C-section. Luca was emergency C-section, and I told that story. And there was 2 placentas, so one didn't develop, and one did. So I think Luca also got all the genius juices from that.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I think
Okay,
there's
Luca.
a science thing from that,
there is a little bit.
Yeah, you absorb the other thing and you get a little extra something.
Yeah,
I mean, some people get extra toes or fingers. I got.
Oh, weird.
You got
Okay,
extra brain.
All right, Luca. So I'm gonna give the floor to you and just prompt you with some questions.
All right.
So as a child, what do you remember most about your early days, of toddler to say elementary school?
I mean, in terms of lessons, I just remember a lot of hot sauce and soap. But
all right, CPS is coming for me. I swear. Well, explain. Well, why did you go straight there? I mean, that's definitely what stands out in your brain.
Because I don't know, when it comes to when you ask me, what do you remember from that? I mean, the punishment really is more of the not the lesson, but I mean, the first memory that came to mind was when you just like broke my sword from medieval times, because that is just scarred in my brain, because I don't think I've ever like cried that hard.
Well, I don't have a memory, so can you remind me?
Okay,
why?
yeah.
I'm sure
I
had a
don't
good
know.
reason.
I don't remember exactly the reason.
Oh, great,
Which
Luca.
is, I mean,
Make me
I
look
didn't,
bad.
I didn't understand the reason.
I'm sure she had a
as a
good
kid.
reason for that.
I'm sure too. Maybe I hit Logan pretty hard, and
Probably
she just got
something like that.
she got really
Yeah,
scared,
that's
because
probably what it was.
apparently that's something that we were scared about.
Yes, we were.
But yeah, we came back from medieval times, and I had this wooden sword, and it was so cool. I love swords now. Like even now, I
he's a
love
sword
swords.
lover, yeah.
I want a sword as like if I housewarming
think it's
gift. I
real.
want a sword.
Yeah.
I want a sword.
You have a real sword from Uncle Grego.
It's in the safe.
Oh, okay. Well, you have one. Waiting
'cause
till we can trust
I would
you.
attach it to my VR. I would attach it to my VR, and I
Oh,
would
great.
absolutely do that.
And Papa's gonna walk by and get beheaded. That's awesome.
Aw.
That's not funny.
No, it's not. Why
I
would you
just got
say
really
such a
dark.
thing? It's horrible.
Sorry, I have a sense of humor that existed long ago.
But yeah, I think I hit Logan like really bad, like on his leg or something, and you saw this giant.
A welt.
I'm guessing you saw a welt, because then you
It was
grabbed
on
it.
this part of his leg, his back thigh.
Could have been anywhere, but you saw it. You grabbed it. You snapped it over your knee, like right in front of my face. Like you took it from my hands and said, "You deserve."
At least I didn't beat you with it.
I probably would have did the same thing. I'm just being honest.
No, I mean, by all means, I understand why, but just like,
What did you learn from
But
that?
he remembers
don't
that.
hit Logan.
Oh, good.
Thank
I mean,
you.
now I feel like I lost my fight out of the fight or flight. Now I have flight because of the fight. That
Yeah,
was
he blames
snapped
me
in
that he
front-
doesn't have a fight. Well, because he's a very passionate. He has his dad's passionateness in him, and so when he's totally fine until he's not. And
As a kid, I think we can
scared
clarify.
me.
As a kid,
Well,
right now I have a lot of calm and
Yeah.
center.
But he also says, I I think you have it in you to fight if you had to, but he blames me that he never he just wasn't a fighter. Not that everything's about physical, but
Yeah.
he does. You do.
Well, he learned his lesson the first time. That's
Well, there
pretty
was
good.
there was
a
several
few
times.
There was a lot of
several
times. Yeah.
And I shared it on Logan's podcast. I think how the jealousy, because I remember when Auntie Brandy was here, we talked about my jealousy with her and how I would beat her up and then tell her, "Shh, I love you, don't say anything." So
I don't think I.
No, you didn't do that. But sibling, jealousy is a real thing, and it all plays out differently. So with you, you were older than him, and I don't think you really understood your own strength and ability. And so when you would get mad, it would make me nervous that you were going to really hurt him to a point. And I think, do you remember me having come to Jesus time conversations with you? Like you could actually kill your brother if you do this?
I don't remember the exact conversations, but I remember you constantly saying, "I have told you I don't know how many times you could kill your brother." I just remember that's the one thing I think I take away from a lot of the.
So when
young
Logan,
stuff.
so Alex will pit them on each other now that they're older, and Luca lets Logan dominate because this is programmed in his head. So
I got weakened. Is what happened. I got
but the truth be told, and Logan, you can argue this another day, but honestly, with your brain, with your mind over matter, you put you up to get Logan with no
restriction.
barred
He's gone. He's
exactly.
a goner.
That is what I know to be true. So that's why I've always
Wait, in
been
what way?
Like Luca, because Luca's like Alex. Your mind is way more powerful than your muscle.
Oh, yeah.
So when they are tripped, their mind takes over. So you have to.
That really, really does not sound good.
I know it
at
doesn't.
all. That's all.
No, I was just gonna say I was gonna follow it up with, but you have to teach and control that, right? So you coach that, that, and you identify that, and then you coach them and teach them that you don't act upon that feeling, that emotion, because there's a lot of us, if we acted on our emotions, it would be dangerous, right?
Right.
So you have to learn not to respond and react. And that's what I've done. That's what Alex's parents have done. I'm not saying that they're capable of the unthinkable. I'm just saying that think of a kid that has a temperament, right? When you trip the temperament, they become crazy.
Yeah.
So you have to control that and teach them how do you cope with that and where your boundaries are. So I was teaching him boundaries. Like, you can't do this because you could really hurt your brother. And there was times, probably 2 or 3 times, that I was like, if you did this and I didn't catch you, you could have killed your brother. And to me, I think a lot of parents are afraid to talk like that to their kids. I don't know why not. Maybe if we did, we wouldn't have some of the extreme situations that we have in the world. Talk to them and tell them this is the reality of what the consequence could be. You can't recover from that.
No.
If you take it to a point where you can't recover, you can't fix that. And I told him that probably to the 2 or 3 times.
Multiple times.
Yeah. You can't undo something that you do that severe because in a fit of rage. So maybe we should be more conversational with people that have that, those temperaments. So Luca's not that kid anymore. And not that he was like that all the time. There was just a couple times that he, was pushed to his limits.
I mean, I do recall a lot of fighting as a young child with a lot of people that we know very, very well. Like my cousin, I beat up a couple times, I think. And then
Dad's really proud of that.
His
cousin. I was like, you're proud that he beat up his cousin? Okay.
But
I thought you were being sarcastic.
No, it was real.
You actually beat him up?
Yeah. Like,
I want to ask you.
I was like, okay, I want to say this at least for everybody listening to the podcast. I was younger than 5 or 6 years old. This was not older than like 5 or 6, because if it was, then
it's like he beat him up to a bloody pole. They they were wrestling and
I was winning.
Won.
It was
Luca won.
You were winning.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't tolerate that. Like, I'm not about fighting. I don't like it.
No,
it's not a solution. What do we end up with? It's not good.
Right.
Obviously, if you have to defend yourself, by all means, defend yourself.
Yeah.
And then especially with family. So that's why I was,
Yes.
but Alex was, it's just the dad thing, like the dad thing.
The macho.
So, okay. So now, can you give us a positive thing from your childhood?
Yes.
Hang on, let me think.
He's all, no.
Wait, you went to medieval times? That must have been
I went to medieval times.
Tracey.
But I was
that place.
But I was allergic. But I am allergic to horses, so
he had a.
So that was fun.
He gets like sneezy and like stuffy and.
All right,
bummer.
find a different memory then.
Luca,
Forget
give
that
us some
one.
good.
I mean, you don't like going to Disneyland, so I went with Nani most of the time.
No, but I took you every year. Okay, this is. What is happening right now?
I know.
No, it's fine.
No, I mean,
Be honest.
I would
it's
say
fine.
you are the closest person I've had to talk to.
Like a bestie?
Yeah,
You are
okay.
besties.
It's
Not
okay.
even,
Wait,
no. I don't mean that in like don't worry, mom, you made up. Like, this is genuine. I hung out with Noah a lot when I was in elementary school, but outside of that, there really wasn't that many people other than you picking me up, taking me to school. So every single day we had that
Bond
conversation. Yeah, it was just.
Well, and I think that, I'm just going to try. I'm going to try to be
what?
in my own court right now. I think I was parenting. Okay.
Yeah, it's parenting. Yeah.
It's parenting. But then let's talk about I have no problem being real, and that's fine. It's okay. But can we talk about do you remember, what are other things you remember when you were younger?
I will remember. I've always wanted to go to Stars of the Valley when you first did it.
Oh yeah.
And you told me it's not a kids event. But then when I finally went, it was very rewarding. So there was that.
cute.
It was cool. Yeah.
That's good.
What did you think about your mom? Getting up
Oh, it was
there?
awesome. It was awesome because I always got to see the surprise entertainment. I saw the rehearsals for it, and then I saw the video afterwards, and that was the coolest thing. I think that was really cool to.
Were you
to
so
watch.
proud of her? I'm proud every year I go and I see her on stage. I'm just staring at her, and I'm so proud of her because it's something I can't do really. But
yeah, I mean, it's really hard from being 5 years old or around that age to really remember what kind of emotions and feelings. But pride is definitely one of them, especially after seeing you do Black Eyed Peas, and then like a number of other, like, it was really, really cool seeing that. And like, I feel like there was I did brag about it a number of times to people at school.
Aw,
so yeah.
you.
And then,
Well, let's wait. Can we talk about, middle school?
I mean, I still have stuff from elementary school if you'd like.
Oh, okay.
But if you want to,
can you talk about, but that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about what about like when you ran for president?
I was just going to get, just going to do
go
that.
For it. Go for it.
I mean, I ran for president in 5th grade for president of the class. Yeah, ASB or whatever it was. And I don't know what it was, but I could not come up with any like real reason as to why I wanted to do it. But like my mom was like, just do it. It's fun. Like just go ahead.
He came to me and said he wanted to do it. And so obviously I was going to be like all in. Yeah. And I'm kind of an all in person.
Yes, I can picture
Yes, you are.
posters, slogans,
yes,
t-shirts.
Yes. So I was like, yes, Luca, like anything the kids want to do, it's like I go in with my whole body.
Yeah. So my slogan was "Vote for me, Luca P," and that is my YouTube like username because of "Vote for me, Luca P." There's a video
on YouTube.
That video is very. I hate that video, but it's.
But so your friends.
Oh yeah, so all of like the closest friends that I had, we all went to like the morning announcements, and this was like 6 o'clock in the morning because they have to record the announcement first.
So
and then edit
Logan was at school at the time.
Logan was at school at the time, so Logan was there. It was Marco, Noah, Grant, and
I think that was it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was this.
But like I had to give my speech. Like, okay, why are you going to vote for me? You know, I don't remember. You know, you can go watch the video on my mom's YouTube channel, but I don't remember exactly what my platform was. I don't think there was one. It was just vote for me.
It was. I mean, there's nothing really.
There's no
president of 5th grade can really do.
So
it's not like you're like, oh, we'll get more vending machines in the school. Yeah. Like you're not really doing.
It's more just like outreach.
Yeah, it's more just connecting and whatever. So, what was the song? The kids had a jingle.
It was Party Rock anthem from.
Party Rock. Wait,
yeah, it was.
Luca P is in the house tonight.
Yeah, I don't remember. Vote for Luca and you'll have a good time. Yeah, it was
because he's gonna make you lose your mind.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
And then they all like finished with their arms crossed, like so cute. And the fact that kids did it, like Marco. You guys know Marco. He's so shy. He totally did it. It was cute. And so look at what happened.
And I won. So yeah.
You won?
Yeah, I won.
Yeah.
We made posters too.
Yeah, there was like one with like a. Oh yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you. 20 years later.
But yeah, we had there was like a poster that had an audio thing. So like when you press the button, like
it had a recorded message.
Yeah, it was like in the 4th and 5th grade building. I remember exactly where it was placed. It was like a little poster. If you press the button, everything was like my voice that said, "Vote for me, Luca P."
Yeah, there was like a milk one too.
I'm sure there was got Luca or something.
There was a lot of slogan stuff.
Yeah,
but yeah, and that was something that I was a room mom in kindergarten, I think, but I'm not the typical room mom kind of person. But give me a project.
Even team mom. Like I was gonna go into like flag football because that's relevant now.
Yeah,
but you were like every single practice we were late. And we were very late to almost every single game, but
I was at every one of them.
She was at every single one.
That's what counts.
So yeah,
I didn't miss a practice or a game, but we might not have been on time.
Yeah, I mean, and you sat and you watched all the practices, even though you didn't have to.
That's good.
I mean,
I
you could have just
did not do
you
that.
just played on your BlackBerry or something and play the little
BlackBerry.
This is how long ago it was, yeah.
No, I have to share. So we need to have a podcast strictly about Luca's football experience because it started when you were sick.
I did tackle football and I was in like 3rd grade.
Yeah.
And
so we're going to have a whole episode about that. But I'll tell you, I'm just going to give you a little teaser on that is that when he was like when you were Titans. Yeah,
Titans, I was 3rd grade.
He was like Rudy. And he gets kind of offended by that because obviously, I mean, no offense, Rudy. I don't even.
It's a
or
fake
any of your family.
character. Yeah, it's a fake character. He was a dummy.
But no, he wasn't a dummy.
wasn't.
He just was small and didn't like. He could never be a.
He was athletic and he was
player.
smart. He was just small.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't remember the movie.
And that was Luca.
It was a good movie.
But it was a great movie. I don't even know if.
Well, because Rudy was incredibly unathletic. I am not unathletic.
No, he wasn't.
No,
he was just
he
small.
was athletic.
We must be watching the different movies.
I don't know. Well,
I'm pretty sure there was something wrong with him where I was watching the movie and I was like,
because he didn't have potential with the team. That's why. I mean,
Right.
it wasn't that he couldn't.
we'll rewatch the movie.
Okay.
and
Well,
see if it's
whatever
better.
the case.
You think, yeah?
Luca was the determination of Rudy, is what I'll say. And so there's a whole history after that. So we'll have our own podcast of just your football career experience. Anyways, but yes, I wanted to be everything that the kids did. And you did soccer, you did baseball, you did a little bit of everything.
Soccer and baseball was
definitely not your sport.
not for me.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Too
It was
slow.
not
Basketball?
Yeah.
Did you do basketball?
I did do basketball.
Yeah.
I did basketball I did in 5th grade because that was when I was hanging out with the basketball kids.
Yeah.
And I tried to
Grant and Noah and all them?
Yeah. No, Noah never did basketball.
Oh, okay.
Noah was he was more the science guy than the sports guy. But he did do baseball.
But
Noah did
then
baseball.
in middle school, Luca has this and even I remember Mr. Shea telling me Luca is a leader, but in a different he's not a dominant leader like Logan is. He's almost like a covert leader or a subliminal leader. He leads differently than what our kind of stereotypical leadership is vision is. But in our family dynamics, we have very strong, dominant people, right? So Luca takes a backseat to all of us, but it's kind of deceiving because he really is a leader and has a lot of. He's very outgoing and all the things that we are, but in his own way because when he's with all of us, he won't compete with everybody, and that's kind of a family dynamic. And I've seen all of that over the years, but in middle school, he wanted to have a dodgeball team and he wanted to compete in the dodgeball tournament. So he recruited his friends and he did it 3 years in a row. Did you do it?
I think I did.
Or sixth grade and eighth grade?
6th grade and 8th grade because I don't think I made the cut for 7th grade.
Oh, okay.
I think
Well,
I just
6th grade, he put a team together and they didn't win, but we got best uniform.
Best
we
uniform,
did.
which was what? Yeah.
We got best uniform.
Because my mom
Because I'm
made the
all-
uniform. What was it? It wasn't.
You guys were black.
No, that wasn't. It wasn't Men in Black that year.
Oh.
Because that was when Logan was in.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyway, and then his 8th grade year.
No, I did do 7th grade, and we were goalkeepers of the world, and we had all of my friends all had their heritage
Soccer jersey.
on. Yeah.
But they didn't. They didn't win the tournament, and they didn't win the best dress.
We just went home.
6th
so.
grade, they won the best dress. In 8th grade, they won the tournament.
Yeah, we did.
Nice.
And he was very competitive and but you don't see that in Luca. You guys know you don't see that on a daily basis of him, but he has it in him. He's very competitive, and when he's passionate about something, he's all in. And so, and I think that's kind of me-ish in you. And then he didn't want to play football until he was.
Well, I didn't want to play tackle. I played flag football.
Oh, yeah.
I played flag football up until.
You played tackle.
I played tackle the first time I ever played football
In a non-weight class.
There was no weight.
And he was the smallest. He was the lightest and the smallest, and he got buried in a practice. They put him as quarterback just to give him something to do, and he got tackled dog-piled. He panicked, and that was the last time. He didn't want to do that again. And then come freshman year, he decided he wanted to play tackle football in high school, totally on his own.
Yeah, it wasn't no influence. It was,
I didn't tell him or ask him or anything. He just decided to do it.
I think you did ask me because there were you had to go to the summer camp. So you had to
you went to orientation and then they had all the things. So it's what do you want to do?
So it's if you wanted to do football,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it was
orientation.
Yeah, it was orientation, or when the 8th graders go to visit the school.
It's called Bears. What's it called? Bears. Cups on Campus.
Yeah, Cups on Campus,
Yeah.
and they had the football table, and I mean, you see a lot of this stuff on TV. You know, oh yeah, the football guys are always the coolest people ever. You know,
Is that where
they
you were
are.
coming from? That's where you were coming from?
I would say there was a huge influence there.
Was it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
like
so.
that.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, so he went to my alumni, TV,
Temecula Valley.
Yeah. Became a Bear, and he played football, which was exciting for me. I mean, Alex thinks that I like totally
Forced it.
made it because that's my sport, but I was pleasantly surprised he wanted to play. And that's when then you had to do like time as a parent.
Yeah.
So where
Yes.
I wasn't like a room mom or a team mom or any of that, I was like, I had to do time there. And then I saw a need. And so I stepped into the boosters.
When it was like my
And
junior
we'll
year,
talk
right?
about that another time.
No. We'll talk about that during the football episode.
Yeah, we'll talk
do
about
the
that's almost a
football
whole nother
That's
episode.
a whole episode.
Yeah.
Huge
That
episode.
TV is
Yeah.
a full episode itself.
But then in high school, Luca played football all 4 years and was friends with everyone on the team, but didn't
I wouldn't say
socialize
friends.
outside.
I would say I knew everybody on the
Teammates.
team.
You were teammates, yeah.
they were teammates.
But you had a lot of good connections and kids that supported you. But what do you think it was? You didn't connect with any friends where you would like go out, go to the movies, go to parties, none of that.
I don't know. I was really, really young. So with a lot of the people that I was with, it's just like, why are we going to hang out with like the kid that can't even drive when we're all already have our driver's license? And it's like, well, you got to like get dropped off and do all this stuff. It's just
Right.
like, I don't want to blame it on them because it's obviously they can do whatever they want. But I don't know. I had a lot of different interests and a lot of them didn't really align with everybody. So
Yeah.
like, at least in myself, I blame it on like too much focus instead of just focusing on one thing. Like,
That's what I would say. Your interests were vast.
yeah. So like when I was in elementary school, I was best friends with like my friend Noah, and he became valedictorian
He's
at
smart. Yeah.
at Great Oak.
Yeah.
The same year that I graduated.
Are you still
Super
friends with
smart.
him today?
Not really. I mean, we don't
No.
talk. Like he went to Great Oak. He moved
Oh,
he
yeah,
moved
okay.
out of the area. So he went to Great Oak and he went to so
But you guys related because you guys like
well like we like
got each
handball.
other. You got
we
each
played
other.
we played handball together, wall
Yeah.
ball or whatever, and we just clicked then. And then we like kind of developed, and the more like once we got to middle school, he really started focusing a little bit more on studies as opposed to sports, which is
Yeah.
where I wanted to branch into. So, I mean, after being with somebody who's intellectual, and then having to go into the sports thing, it's like two
Yeah.
almost polar opposite things. So it kind of
Mhm.
separates,
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
True.
like if I went to like a football thing with some of the guys from football and something happened on Instagram or something where I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, this something landed on the moon or something like physics thing showed up on my feed. I would want to share it because it's something that I thought would be cool. And no offense to anybody else there, not that they're not smart people, but
No,
just like it's
they
just not
weren't
the same
interested.
interest.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like, and then if I was with Noah, like in middle school, it's like, oh yeah, the Patriots are gonna win this time. I'm like, what are you talking? Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Oh.
what do we?
That makes sense.
So it's just
that
like
makes sense, yeah.
conflicting interests, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
But
You're just on a different level.
Well, it was like not a lot of people, even if you're smart, like there was a lot of kids on the football team that were smart. They got great grades.
smarter than me,
But
they're just-
intellect is a different
different,
term, right?
yes.
It's like it's just different. You're different. You think different. You associate different things. Your interests are different. Luca is unique in that he has both. So he's sports and that oriented, but he also has this intellect. There's not a lot of kids that align with that. And that's where the miss was. And then he's almost a year younger than at least. And we know like with kids like Jake that are like they are hold back or not. Is it a hold back or how does it like
He just
started later?
he
or
started
something?
late, and it wasn't because of sports. It was because
Right,
he
yeah.
was wild. But,
So there's kids that are holdbacks. There's kids that started late. There's kids.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different scenarios, but
I said it early.
potentially there was kids that were 2 years older than
Yeah.
Luca in his class. So that's also a miss, right? And if
Yeah.
you didn't grow up, like there's another kid that's only like a month older than Luca, which, you know, it mattered. Luca was literally the youngest kid in the class. This other kid that was really close to Luca, he's only a month older but he grew up with these kids on the football team.
Because they did Pop Warner together.
Yeah.
And if you,
so
like, even
that made him like, it didn't matter how old he was. Where with him,
I would
it
also
did.
say, like, even those intellect, like the smarter kids on the football team, they did grow up with all these other kids that weren't, but they had that connection from Pop Warner and from doing tackle football together. So they kind of grew up together. And even when you have different interests and you have that kind of thing, I guess for some people it worked, for some people it didn't.
Yeah.
But if you're staying with football your entire career, you could just talk about that your entire time. You don't have to do anything else, you know?
Right.
So didn't have that. I had flag football, and nobody really, like, all the people that played flag football, they did freshman football for that 1 year, and then majority of them quit because it's just not for them.
Half the team quits every time.
Also, if you're younger, well, for Jake, it was opposite. He was older. So, like, all the kids he played Pop Warner with were a grade older than him. So they were like in 9th grade and he was still in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And then, like, for you it would have been like, you might not have gotten to play. Yeah, the opposite. Like, you might not have played with, because it was, a lot of sports are by age. Yeah. And not grade.
Yeah.
Totally.
So. Flag football is by grade, but
flag is,
yeah.
But not, it's weight. Well, it's kind of, I don't know, in Pop Warner.
Pop Warner got
it's grade and weight. And
it was age because Jake was too old to play on an 8th grade team. And then they created this unlimited. I don't know if they have that. So it's unlimited age and unlimited weight.
Yeah.
That's probably those too young and those too old. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
So Luca, we'll get into football. We'll do a football episode. But so you graduated, and just kind of bring us up to speed. We've got about, well, you're probably going to be right about where your brother was.
Really? I mean,
so bring us up to speed after you graduated. What did you do, and where are you at today?
Well, we were in COVID when I graduated, so that was definitely
tough,
a huge thing. But I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I just thought, like, business degree would be the best option. Just, you know, worst case scenario, like, I have, you know, family businesses I can fall back. Like, worst case scenario is a very, you know, I'm using that very lightly, but yeah, like, at least with the business degree, I can take over and do, you know, keep things going. But I didn't really know what exactly was my passion still. Like, I have didn't really have any idea. So I applied for, like, SDSU and a few other, like, smaller schools because I wasn't really sure what I want. Like, I didn't know if I wanted big classes, small classes, you know, like big campus, small. Like, I didn't really know. We did a tour of SDSU and it was cool. It was great. But I didn't get it. So there was a couple of the schools, and, like, Chapman University was, like, really, really cool. And I was really interested in film too. And Chapman has one of the best film schools in, like, California and even the country. So I was like, okay, they have a D3 football team. If I ever wanted to, you know, play football still, I can just, you know, I can do that. And it's not like I'm D1. I'm not going to go D1. I'm not going to get, you know, transfer anywhere. But there was that, and the film school, and they had a really good business school as well. So I'm like, everything kind of is pointing, everything's kind of pointing here. You know, like, I can go somewhere. I can go to Redlands or you know, Point Loma, but, like, none of these really had all the things that I was really like, maybe I want to go with this. Maybe I want to do this. So pick Chapman, and that was something. That first year was very, very interesting. So I moved into the apartments that they had, like they gave out the student housing, not dorms, because dorms, they have a communal food area, which during COVID, you can't, like, buffet is not really the greatest.
It's not an option.
So they gave us the apartments that have, like, full kitchens, like washer dryer, the whole shebang.
They were, like, with, like, stainless steel appliances. They were, like, first class.
Yeah,
I'm like, you don't have an idea.
It was like right across the street from Angel Stadium, and like a 5-minute drive from Disney.
Lux.
Wow.
Yeah. But
Robbie Jones.
On paper, this guy was one of the coolest dudes ever.
The perfect match.
We felt like they do your whole thing, just like, okay, what do you
remember that?
What do you want in a roommate? Okay, yeah, this. I don't know how we got matched up with Robbie Jones, but
because everything matched on paper.
Yeah, everything on paper matched. But
we were so excited.
Yeah,
Italy. He spent time in Italy. I mean, like, this kid was a match for Luca.
Yeah, he was a traveler.
And one of the biggest things I put a few times was cleanliness on the application.
That's a very important note. Yes, that is a very important note. Because I mean, you saw my room when I was at home. It was not very clean, but it was.
No, you're not a slob. I mean,
I know where things are, even though they are out of place.
But it's not tidy. Like it was. I mean, he's not like me, anal, organized and clean. But my kids, when their room's a mess, it's not like a mess. It's just disorganized.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
no trash.
We put like it was like a rating scale. Like, okay, you can put like a 1 for like you're not very clean, or a 5. And I think we were talking about this when I was playing soccer with Logan outside in the backyard. And what do you think? Well, like I'm not gonna be a 5, because a 5 nobody wants to live with a 5. But nobody wants to live with a 1 or a 2, because like that's a horrible. Yeah. So just put a 4, keep it average, keep it. I do like it more than I like things put in places. Yeah. So, everything was fine. That first semester was not like really great socially. I met a lot of people. It was really cool. Academically, it was not good at all. It was horrible.
He did not apply himself.
No, it was not good at all.
And Chapman is a private university. Let me just make note. It's not like junior college pricing.
It is not. That was what I was trying to imply with the that was something earlier, because that was.
I'm implying too, but
that's not an implication. That's straight up saying it. It was
not money to waste.
Yeah, right. Then you got to take it twice and pay for it twice.
Yeah.
So
Robbie Jones. Wait, can we finish about Robbie Jones?
Well, yeah. We're getting there. Okay. Like Robbie Jones is the.
You're gonna beat Lucas Logan's time.
Well, I better. I'm the oldest.
He's the king.
He's the king.
But I can speed it out. After this, there's not really much.
Okay.
So
if they want to listen, they'll listen. If they don't, they'll turn it off.
Exactly. So Robbie is Northern Californian guy. So everything you can imagine from a Northern Californian, that was Robbie Jones. So.
What do you mean?
You can imply everything you'd like. Exactly, Rhonda. 2 fingers to the lips is a perfect.
But he was did his work.
He did his work. He did everything fine. I don't know how he.
Luca didn't.
I think the thing was he was very, very used to it. Or when I participated, it was significantly worse
and new. And Luca did not party or socialize in high school. So when he got to college,
drinking every night, doing whatever.
Robbie Jones sent me a picture of Luca passed out
on the
Halloween floor of his room, and they put trash all around him like a.
It was empty boxes, because that's apparently something that.
And he smiled at it like. And I didn't get mad. I was like,
and he's in college.
Yeah.
It's weird that he sent it to you. I didn't know you sent it to you.
So somebody did.
I think it was me. I think I sent it to me. Because he sent it to me, and I was like,
he took the picture.
Yeah, he definitely took the picture.
Yeah. But and this is just to make note in all the early years, it sounded like I was some kind of child abuser, but I was building a relationship and curbing my child's. No, we ended up he's even sending me pictures of him passed out at college. So
that was probably.
I'm not so bad.
That was You're not. I don't remember anything from. I remember very little about that night, but
Evidently.
Yeah, I don't remember how I got home.
Luca did more.
We went out.
According to Robbie Jones, Luca did more partying than school.
That
is
true.
First semester.
Yeah. So that kind of bit me in the butt. Had to kick things into high gear that second semester.
Yep.
But then he also would complain about Robbie Jones' filth.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It was like
it was
literally trash.
It was dumpster.
Every 2 feet.
I surprised him and showed up. And he goes, "You're going to see what I'm talking about." I was climbing over trash to get to his room.
I was complaining every single day.
He wouldn't clean up after him because he's like, "I'm not cleaning up after him," but dishes in the sink all the time. Like, Robbie Jones, if you're listening, get your act together.
I mean,
Robbie Jones.
He went into a frat.
I love saying Robbie Jones.
I know, we all did. It was like the thing, like Robbie Jones.
That's a sweet name, Robbie Jones.
Damn him! Why did he have to be such a dish?
Right?
Anyway, so I tried to go out for football again, like doing spring ball for Chapman, because that's what that was part of the reason why I decided to go. And things didn't really work out there. Not only was I incredibly out of shape. But
but you were like practicing safety. It was COVID that messed it all up.
Still, I was out of shape as well. And that, I was one of the slowest kids from being the fastest in high school to being the slowest is a huge, it's like, damn, okay, well, there's that. And then, COVID kind of shut me out of that in its own way. And
we ain't getting the shot.
All right. So I
ain't afraid it's my podcast. I can say that.
Well, yeah. So I moved to Santa Ana and lived there for a year, and that was horrible. I hate Santa Ana. I never want to go back in that trash town ever again.
Really?
It is horrible. I just had a terrible experience, and I really would rather never cross through there.
Well, there's no comparison from Santa Ana and Temecula. There's
and even
just
Orange,
no comparison.
Orange and Anaheim.
Downtown Orange.
I lived in Anaheim, and Anaheim's dirty too because everybody wants to go to Disneyland, and then they lose all their money, and now they're homeless. So.
Yeah, lots of homeless people.
A lot of homeless.
Too many tourists.
Exactly. So, but still, Santa Ana was my worst experience, and there's a whole story there.
That's another podcast.
That's not a podcast. That
is in the vault for life.
That is gone. That is.
We'll talk about it after the podcast.
It makes you thankful to come home, right? To Temecula.
Well, definitely, he learned a lot.
I mean, yeah, there was a lot. So,
I bet.
But then I got into soccer. Like, I think it was my second semester of my sophomore year, I got into playing like rec soccer at Chapman, and I was like, this is pretty cool. So, and that was like every Monday and Wednesday. So instead of going home on my dad's day off, I stayed up in Orange County and played soccer, which I don't know. That's kind of something that he always has a little. Well, why don't just skip it? Just come home. But I was getting a group of friends there, so that was cool. And then we just as the years kind of like as the semesters kind of went by, you just separated, and that's it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, your senior year, you went on Hinge and you swiped.
Actually, this was the end of
we're
junior
really
year.
going over, but let's share this because this is like the
end of junior year. I was just I went on dating apps and never really had anybody that I wanted to like go out on a date with, and I just I looked on the Hinge app and I got this like message that somebody liked my photo. So I was like, oh, cool. Who is it? And it's this girl from she goes to Cal State Long Beach, and she's a dancer. So I'm like, cool.
That's what they're called.
Well, Rhonda.
I think they're the minors.
Rhonda went there.
I'm from Long Beach. And
she can say it.
Long Beach State College. They're called dirtbags.
Dirtbags.
Is that their mascot?
Yeah.
I think they're the miners or the sharks or something. There's no way. It's not dirtbag.
I thought it was called dirtbag.
It's not dirtbag.
What is it called?
I think it's like the miners, the 49ers.
No.
It's the Long Beach 49ers. It's not the dirtbags.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure.
Rhonda, you better hope Izzy doesn't listen to this.
So, yeah. So we go on our first date in Huntington Beach, and it was the...
Thank you.
It was a Saturday before Easter.
Look at her. She's looking it up right now.
She's trying to justify it. Or it was a Friday before Easter. And, this girl was amazing. She was very, very quiet. And at one point, I thought she ditched me at a restaurant because she went to the bathroom for about 25 minutes. But
she's on the phone telling everybody.
But she came back and she's like, sorry, there was a huge line. And I didn't tell her that I was like, I thought you left until like a month, 2 months later.
But when did you find out where she was from?
We were walking to a coffee shop that date, and she's like, yeah, I'm from Temecula. I'm like, really? Where'd you go to high school? No way. Because she's like, I went to Great Oak. Oh, okay.
That is crazy though that you didn't even meet her here.
Yeah,
I love that.
And they're the same age. They graduated the same year.
We graduated the same year.
That's what I was going to ask. I didn't know that.
And she was a dancer, so she danced at all the football games, and like one of the only games that I played wide receiver was against Great Oak at Great Oak. So I truly believe there was a time where she heard my name at first, and that kind of worked itself out. Rhonda's trying to justify dirt bags.
Why is Long Beach State the dirt bags? It's due to their scrappy playing style and success against higher profile programs.
All right, Rhonda.
Listen, I know I've heard this before. See, it's a thing.
They're the dirt bags. All right, well.
Yeah, but,
anyway, you dated the dirt bag. And
yeah, so April 8th, I went out with her for the first time. And then April 22nd, I asked her to be my girlfriend. So that is tomorrow, actually.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I was
your
going to say, wait a
anniversary.
minute.
she is working.
And so are you.
She's, and
But
so am
what
I,
is
but
she
she
now?
is now a Laker girl, and they are in the playoffs. So she is. Yeah.
Her name is Isabella Ferris.
Yeah, she's working tomorrow night.
Adorable Laker girl.
And
She's so cute.
When can we
So
go to a
cute.
Laker game?
Anytime, you just have to buy a ticket.
No, all of us together.
Yeah, it is.
It's so we went to the, what is it called?
It was the South Bay.
South Bay Lakers.
And she dances there too.
Yeah, and you get,
okay.
and it's a smaller.
Let's do that.
It's cool.
Court.
Like it's still really
Yeah.
cool, even if you don't like
because
like
the Laker
basketball.
tickets are expensive, and I'm like, I'm not sitting in the nosebleeds to watch
Yeah.
her. Like, you can't even
can't
see
see
her,
her.
and they don't do like.
Yeah,
a
but
ton-
even
but
I
out
think
South
we need
Bay
a bumper
Lakers,
shoot
it's
field
fine.
trip.
Yeah,
Bumper
South
shoot
Bay
field
Lakers,
trip.
but they're done. South Bay's done.
South
right
Bay's
now.
done, yeah.
So we'll have to go next season.
Okay.
And
For
she's
sure.
re-auditioning, so that,
Yeah, she's
that works out.
re-auditioning. They have to audition every year, but
Oh, that stinks.
anyway, it's really cute, and so I think it's really funny because when we talk about the Luca, when we talk about Luca's journey and all the things, he was looked over a lot because of his size and lack of experience and all the things his freshman year. And his freshman year had a team that came in
In
that
football.
in football that was like, it was like they were all man children, and they had all played together. They were exceptional. In fact, they won CIF his year. So Luca, unfortunately, because of his lack of experience and his size and all the things, and we'll get into it all, he was on the sidelines a lot. In fact, he like kept stats for coach a lot and stuff. And it's really it's a very sensitive subject for Alex because it's not cool when your kids stand on the sidelines and you dedicate your whole life to it and all that. And that's why we were laughing, because he was getting on Luca for this kid sitting on the sidelines at his flag football.
Because I coach now,
Because he
yeah.
coaches
I
now.
coach flag football now.
And Alex came to a game and saw this kid on the sidelines for a whole quarter, but he didn't realize that everyone has to sit out a quarter. And so he's like yelling at Luca to put him in. Anyway, Luca did get some fun events that happened, and we'll talk about all that. But anyway, I say all that to say, yeah, we're way over time. But what I say all that to say that the funny and ironic thing is that, you know, if you're just going to look at this in a really like, I don't know, cliche is not the word, but in a very superficial way, Luca was the kid on the sidelines that, you know, did just the team. They actually really rallied around him, but he didn't get a lot of action. And then he ends up dating a Laker girl, which is kind of funny. So
cute.
I'm like, you know.
Yeah, take that, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's a little bit of a, anyway, it's fine.
Right?
But yeah, so Luca, tell us, wrap this up because we're over an hour now, but wrap
My
it up
goodness.
and tell us.
So much better than Logan.
I guess we'll find out, right?
So what is your focus now? What are you studying to do?
So now I am trying to become a sports agent. I'm trying to become a football players agent, and I'm working with the agency right now. Trying to earn
Shout them out.
Disruptive Sports.
Yeah.
Go Disruptive.
Who's the biggest client they have?
Right now they have a guy in the NFL draft, which is this Thursday, Ashton Genty.
Wow, they got Ashton.
That's
so awesome.
Yeah, the guy that I'm I talk to every week, he's like one of the guys closest to him. Like he's one of the agents that's working
so
closely
cool.
with him. So
Good for you guys. That's big.
It's
That's
awesome.
big. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's really
Way
really
to go,
cool.
Luca.
And you went to a 2-day.
Yeah, I went to a coaches convention with another one of the people that I work with, because he represents coaches, and it was really really cool. And
No, I was talking about that.
and I went to the Lee Steinberg event.
Steinberg,
So
yeah.
Lee Steinberg is the agent of Shohei Ohtani and Patrick Mahomes.
He was the inspiration for Jerry Maguire movie.
Yeah,
Wow.
and he
So
does
he went to a 2-day.
he does lectures, classes, kind of like agency academy things. And I went to one of those, and it was really that 2-day thing was when I knew that this is exactly what I wanted
That's
to do.
your passion,
It was
right?
just
man.
hearing everything that he was
Yes.
saying and learning from all this and talking to all these different people. It really was like a light that just shined in my head. Like I said earlier, that I did not have any idea what I wanted to do,
Yeah.
especially when I declared a major in college. this was it. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm really so happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah. And funnily enough, all those man children are doing nothing in football, and here I am trying to become an agent. So
that's why the book is not
really
it's not done yet.
I'm
writing a book, and it's not over.
I also want to say Isabella was not a Laker girl when I went out with her. She got that because of me, because I sat there for I sat there for 10 hours while she did her rehearsal in Los Angeles. She didn't get that because of me. She's great. But,
no, she's very talented.
She's extremely talented.
You've definitely supported her.
Thank you.
Is this 2 year?
This is 2 years.
2 years,
yeah. 2 years tomorrow.
That's a long time.
That's
It
awesome.
is.
Yeah. So shout out to Izzy. Good luck tomorrow night.
Yes, good luck, girl.
Yeah, tomorrow night.
It is tomorrow night.
Yeah, good luck tomorrow night, Lakers and Laker girls.
They are 0-1 on the series so far, so hopefully they can win tomorrow.
Yeah, they need it. All right, you guys. Well, Luca, thank you. I think that we kind of described you before you came on, and everybody's gonna be like, "What are you talking about? That kid's totally outgoing,
socially awkward."
No, we didn't say socially awkward, but yeah, you definitely. I'm glad because everybody got to hear you. This is who we know. This is who I know.
That's right.
And so I'm happy to. We all know this, but I think that you get overshadowed by all of us a lot.
I do not have your guys' personality, so it's.
But you do
to the loudness that you guys have.
You totally.
I feel like
do.
you're one of my friends.
Me too.
Oh,
So do
thank
I.
you. You guys are my friends.
You're one of my
Yeah.
favorite kids.
Right?
Oh, thank you.
1000%. Yeah.
Yeah, you have way more. I think that people just there's the three of us are so big that people don't realize how big you are. So I'm glad that everybody got to hear you and hear really who you are. And this is what I know. And this is why I believe in you 100%, that you're going to be one of the best agents that there ever was in NFL football. I believe it.
too.
1000%.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's not all. We'll be back next week with Logan, and we're happy. Yeah, it's been fun to have my kids on, and I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know Luca beat everybody. We're gonna have to cut these down.
Sorry.
I mean, hopefully at a long drive, or you're gonna listen to it too, and hopefully people don't look at it and go 66 minutes. I'm not listening to that. But yeah, thank you for being on, Luca. We love you, and yeah, we'll see you next. Or you'll hear from me and Logan next week, and then after that, it's my birthday. Yay! May 2nd is my birthday, and if you know me, you know it's a national holiday for me and my friends.
That's right.
The world revolves around that day, and so we will be back the day after my birthday weekend, and we'll talk about all that. Okay. All right, everybody, take care. Have a great week, and follow us on Bumbershoot Charity on Instagram, and we'll see you soon.